Hey, I finally finished editing my short film. Now all that's left is the Foley sound effects, the music, and the colors. Uh, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite movies. And today I'm going to talk about Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz. Yeah, because I finished finalizing my edits in my short film yesterday, I had to celebrate. And in order to celebrate, I watched Hot Fuzz, which is the second film in the very critically acclaimed Cornetto trilogy, written and directed by Edgar Wright. Now, Edgar Wright is a very amazing director, very underrated as well. I just feel like Edgar Wright deserves way more praise than he has right now because every single film I've seen from Edgar Wright is great, all the way from Baby Driver, the first Edgar Wright movie I've ever watched, with the music synced up action, the very tight editing, the fun dialogues. It is a total blast. And then we have Shaun of the Dead, which I watched, and Shaun of the Dead is the first movie out of the Cornetto trilogy, also featuring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and it is a really fun spin on the zombie apocalypse genre. Even though it's not the funniest movie I've ever seen, I still had a great time watching Shaun of the Dead. And then, of course, there's Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which is very energetic, very entertaining, very over the top. The cast is amazing. It is impeccable. Michael Cera, Anna Kendrick, Chris Evans, Brie Larson. It is just exploding with lots of colors and flavors, and it is another fantastic movie that I just really want to rewatch all the time. But anyways, yesterday I watched Hot Fuzz, and wow, wow, this has got to be the best comedy movie I've ever seen in my entire life so far. Anyways, but I haven't watched a movie that had made me laugh as much as Hot Fuzz did. There are just so many moments in this movie that's just gold. That's just pure gold. And essentially, the story is about Simon Pegg's character, Nicholas Angel. He is a a phenomenal policeman from London, and because he's too good, his police department kicked him out and transferred him to some village in the middle of nowhere called Sanford in Gloucestershire, and he has to be the policeman there. And then in Sanford, everybody hated him because he is the good cop. He does everything right. He follows everything by the rules, by the book. He never deviates from the law. He doesn't even crack jokes. He's a very boring, serious person, and everybody hates him. And in that village, he uncovered serial murder. And yeah, this movie also is kind of like a spoof or a sort of parody of your average police movie, and even inside this movie, multiple references are made to movies like Bad Boys 2 and Point Break. And yeah, it is actually absolutely fucking hysterical. Just the casting is amazing. We have Simon Pegg as the main character, Nick Frost as the supporting character, as this really spoiled cop who really wants to be a good cop, who really wants to experience action but had never seen them. And their chemistry is amazing, as always. And then we have other characters. We have Olivia Colman as a police woman, and she always does like a sexual one-liner at the end, and then this other guy would say one word in response. It's just every single time. And then we have Timothy Dalton as the overly obvious villain. He always hints that he's evil, and then he's like, no way, I didn't kill anyone. But then sometimes he would be like, ooh, he'll be in bits tomorrow. And Timothy Dalton is amazing in this movie. And we also have many other smaller characters. You know, we have Martin Freeman, we have Stephen Merchant in one of the scenes. We have Kate Blanchett Peter Jackson, the director, also had a cameo in this movie. So there are tons of cameos, and overall, this movie is just amazing. And yeah, I actually, it's been a while since I've enjoyed this movie this much. Like every single minute is fantastic. This movie does not beat around the bushes. This movie is so straight to the point. It's very fast paced, and it just manages to pack as many jokes in the shortest period of time as possible without it feeling rushed. When I was watching Hot Fuzz, I was like, wow, it feels like it's been a while already with all the jokes and all the crazy scenes. And then I checked the timeline. It's only been 11 minutes. It's only been 11 minutes, and then there are this many funny scenes, which is great because now we have way more funnies and laughs and giggles for the rest of the movie. But a lot of the jokes are actually really clever. It's not just like dumb jokes or anything. Like, aside from the very dumb sexual jokes, we also have many other hilarious jokes. We have the fence one, which is prevalent in all three of the movies in the Cornetto trilogy, where Simon Pegg is like, have you heard of a shortcut before? And then Simon Pegg would jump over a fence, but the entire fence would fall. In this movie, Simon Pegg didn't make the fence fall, but it was Nick Frost, and that was such comedic timing. And we have the when's your birthday? And the kid was like, every year. That was amazing. And Timothy Dalton smiling and looking exactly like himself in the photo beside him is and and then the climax of the movie where Simon Pegg and Nick Frost have to fight a bunch of old guys and old women, just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There are just highlights after highlights after highlights in this movie. We even have the guy who played the Hound in Game of Thrones, the guy who played Filch in Harry Potter, also Walder Frey in Game of Thrones, I think, also in this movie. Also, there's another character, the guy who played the police sergeant. I remember him from somewhere. I think he's also in Harry Potter. I think so. But I don't know. And then we have all these references and callbacks. Even though I haven't watched Point Break or Bad Boys 2, I'm gonna admit it, I actually haven't watched them. I can tell that this movie is packed with references and sort of like interpolations of these movies. And also near the end of the movie we have forget it, Nicholas, it's Sanford, which is like a smart reference to forget it, Jack, it's Chinatown. And it's just, this is such an Edgar Wright thing to just lace the entire movie with all these references and callbacks and foreshadowing and all these subtle jokes and subtle details. Just the amount of thought gone into making this the most hilarious thing ever is just amazing and very impressive. The editing is godly. Like, a lot of people underestimate how important editing is and think that, oh, editing movies are easy, editing movies is easy, you just put a bunch of clips together and then that's it. Well, it's not, and it's really difficult to actually know when to cut and know when not to cut, and how to make fancy montages and all that. And Hot Fuzz and many other Edgar Wright movies would be great examples of why editing is just as important as everything else when making movies. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. It is a hysterically funny movie, and I've had so much fun watching this movie. This movie, I like this even more than Shaun of the Dead. This is hysterical, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. Hot Fuzz, it's a 10 out of 10. It is a 10 out of 10. I can't find a single flaw in this movie. I enjoyed it from the first second to the last second, and this is so rewatchable. Like, even though I watched it yesterday, if I watch it today again, I wouldn't be bored. I would still be just as entertained, to be honest. Yeah, 10 out of 10. So have you watched Hot Fuzz from 1 to 10? How much did you rate it? Like it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. The next movie I'm going to review Um, Either Black Widow, or if I don't have time to go to the cinemas, then I would watch Titanic by James Cameron.